All right. Um. So recently, I think I did a talk already where I said that I got back into, I listened to like a Dow podcast and kind of went through it, but then I decided to get my own book. So I got a book or my own copy, right? And I've been going through, and I decided I was going through it and I was reading it, and I was like, you know what? You know, I was listening to this podcast where the guy was basically kind of breaking it down. So like, what if I went through and tried to break it down myself? So now I've been going through and I've been trying to just kind of terrible at this. You know, you can see my handwriting there. And I've been just kind of, reading it, and then I'll try and translate how I want. And I think that that's definitely helped kind of get some better understanding. But as I've been doing this, I got asked to join a little Bible group. I don't know if that's the right term. I don't remember what they called it. But basically once a week at my work, they're like, hey, there's this is like thing called like your daily bread or whatever, or like a Bible devotional. So every day, you can wake up, and in the morning, like you can do like a little bit of like a Bible reading, and then there's usually like a little bit of a passage to go along with it, or something that someone says to kind of give you motivation, or enrich your relationship with God, basically. So they're like, hey, we're gonna read whatever that Wednesday is. It's we're gonna read that one, and we can talk about it, and we're gonna try and do that like during lunch. And they asked, hey, do you want to join? And I didn't necessarily like, I've said it before, but I'm not the most religious person. I was raised Christian, went to like a private Christian school, but through the years, like I was playing soccer and stuff, things got busy between everyone. We kind of stopped going as much, and my, like, I guess position on it has like shifted kind of away from it. I feel like it's very corrupt in a sense. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, but at the same time, there's also a lot of good stuff that's in the Bible. And I think that the thing is that at one point, it was good stuff. I think over time, though, it's been changed. Things get adjusted to fit everyone's motive at the time. Like not everyone has like the best intentions, or maybe they do, but like their intentions are not good. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying there. But basically, so I got invited into this. So we're listening to these devotionals, and like the first reading we did, I was like, this is literal Taoist teaching right here. Like this is like, it's worded differently, but the underlying meaning there is word for word. It's like the same thing. And I thought that was interesting. So I kind of looked at some more of them, and like the more I look at like these like things, I'm like, this is exactly what Taoist teaching is, except the Taoist teaching says like like the Tao is everything. The Tao is like guiding and is there to provide for you and help you. But in like Christianity, right, that term is just replaced with God. God is there providing for you, watching over you, is everything, all powerful, So what I've come to kind of like see in it is like, they're kind of the same, like they're saying the same thing. They're just saying it a little differently. And then a person that I listen to, Jesse Wells is like on plays like a, what am I saying? He has a bunch of like songs that he's written and like posted on YouTube. So I found him on YouTube, and then I've been listening to his songs as they come out ever since. And he has one song where there's a line, and it's you know we all have the same, or like we all have the same God. We just don't know how to read, or they all have the same God. They just don't know how to read. Basically, same thing. I think it might be both of those. Maybe it's just one of those. Getting put on the spot here, but basically, like, it made me think of that line because when I heard it, I was like, "That's so true." But like, it's really hitting home with me now. It's like, just how like, real it is, because tying it in. I have another talk. I'll probably go into more depth on it, but there's this very big divide where it's like there's the people of like religious faith, and then there's the atheists who believe in science. And I don't really, the more I look at it and the more I like look at science, like I don't see how science disproves God. I will say that like in one of the devotionals, there was like the talk of like evolution, and then they started, some of the people in the group started talking about how they don't know how evolution would even be possible. And to me, like, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that evolution is 100% possible, and I also believe that it doesn't disprove like religion in the slightest. I think the big reason why people think, oh, like religion can't be real because there's science, because like the creation story is like, I guess, the end all be all. I'm going to go into it in a different talk because I have like it all written out. But basically, like, just because it said like in the book of like in the Bible, it says, like this is how God did it, doesn't mean that's necessarily what happened. I don't know. I feel like some people take the Bible way too literally. And I don't think it makes sense to do that because, as I was saying the other talk probably, and I actually said it earlier, like, do you really think that that's unchanged through time? I don't know. That's whatever. What was I talking about? Oh, how it's all kind of the same teaching. Oh. And, I kind of want to look at more things and see just how many religions, like, have the same teachings. Because it's like, because I'm at a point right now where, I'm a part of this group, but, my, I guess, idea of God is different from theirs. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I disagree with their beliefs. So, I'm like, I don't think that I'm going to become full Christian again, but I do think that there is, wisdom and stuff to take away from it. And I don't necessarily think I'm practicing Taoism perfectly either. I don't think that, I guess I can take this from like a Taoist teaching is like, the Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao, which basically I interpret that as is, everyone's path in life and the way they, like see the world is their own. And as long as they live that truly and they follow their path or the path, they are embodying the Tao. They're doing God's work. They're doing what God has put them on this planet to do. There's no one way to practice. Like that's kind of my problem with religion is there's one way. There's only one way, and it just doesn't make sense to me. But I don't think it's true. And another thing actually I can say is just from the few passages that I got brought up, um, uh, is some of the stuff that like some of the passages. I'll have to do a separate one where I like go through and do a deep dive. I don't have my Bible with me right now. It's at work, but or the devotional thing with the snippets in it. So I'll have to do that another time. But there's a lot of stuff in there that's making me draw a lot of similarities to today, where it's like, the Jews and the Gentiles. The Gentiles are the atheists of today, and the Jews are the Christians. And honestly, any other and the reality is the teachings of Jesus are basically like, like y'all, like you don't got to be doing all this. Like, I don't know. I like maybe I just feel like I am interpreting, a lot of what Jesus says completely differently from what everyone is interpreting it as now. And I think that's mainly to do with just people seeing the world from a more humanistic perspective and thinking of themselves as these like I don't know, supreme beings basically, but we're not. I mean, like, I don't know, we're pretty great, I guess. But like I don't know. I just think there's a lot of hubris in religion, and I think that we can kind of tie everything together. Because honestly, atheism is a religion. It's their god. The god of atheism is science, and its teaching is the scientific method, or it's like its Bible is the scientific method or something. I don't know. But the reality is that, if people were willing to see, every religion is the same. Everyone's got basically the same ideas and the same principles. There might be a couple oddballs out there, just doing whatever, but the majority of people probably believe the same thing. But because the religion has a different name, like there's complete like craziness going on. And in Jesus's time, he was trying to make peace between these people. And I think that, if we're trying to follow those teachings, right, like we shouldn't be, criticizing people for not believing in God. We should, helping them. I don't know. But I think, recently my perspective has just really shifted a lot. And I think it's kind of funny, honestly, because, before I got asked to join this Bible group, I had been approached like 3 or 4 times to, come join a church. I was at a party, and one of our family friends like approached me and was like, "Hey, like maybe like join a church or something." And I was like, maybe. And then, I had like 2 encounters where a person just kind of like walked up to me and said like, "Hey, like, do you have a minute for me to tell you about like the Word of God or whatever?" So on 2 separate occasions in relatively similar time frames, that happened. And I was like, okay, now it's starting to get weird. Now it's starting to get weird. This is multiple times of getting reached out to here, and in just at random times and random scenarios. Like I was in like Asbury Park, which is like an hour away from me. It was practically the middle of the night, right? And a guy just like walking down to his car or whatever, like stops and says, like to me in particular, like, and says, "Hey," and I don't know. I just think that was a little weird. And I was actually with my girlfriend at the when this happened. I was with my girlfriend, and she was like, "That's never happened to me," and I'm like, "Really? Like that's like the second or third time now for me." So I just so it was definitely a weird experience. And then I was just in my apartment, and someone walked up to the door and was like, "Hey, we're going around, you know, asking people to join like our church, like if you're interested." And like that was like I was like, okay, maybe I should, but like it didn't really fit in with my schedule, so I was like, I don't know how like I'm gonna be able to do this, right? And then a month or two went by, and then out of nowhere, completely unexpected, I got asked to join a Bible group. And I like when I heard that, I was like, sure. And I think it's kind of funny how stuff like that works because, now I'm drawing parallels between it, and I'm seeing the value in, I'm seeing the book in a new light, and I'm seeing, people like I'm getting like a different perspective that I didn't have before, and it's interesting. And it makes me want to know more and get a better understanding of, people and just like their faith and like how, what they believe and just how many similarities there really are. Because it's been a few weeks and I've already drawn so much like similarity between these like passages, and it's just like fascinating. I don't know. This was a long rant. Okay. Peace out.